How's it going, everybody? This is S3Tide once again, coming at you with a week 2 of college football recap video. And again, if you're wondering why there's a picture of Lou Holtz on the screen with a gun in his hand, that's because he's a freaking beast at life, like I said before. And first of all, we're going to start out with the Thursday game, which was Oklahoma State and Arizona. I actually said it was going to be kind of close, but Oklahoma State proved me wrong. The offense did great. The defense held the big Nick Foles, who's like 25 foot tall, to not a great game. Oklahoma State won 37-14. Let's see, Missouri and Arizona State. I predicted Missouri to win, even though they started out slow the game before. But in overtime, Arizona beat number 21 Missouri 37-30. Now moving on to the Saturday games. First of all, we had number 8 Wisconsin and Oregon State. Oregon State the week before lost to Portland, I believe, which is a Division II school, so you didn't really expect Wisconsin, one of the best teams in the country, to falter in any way, and they proved me right, and they won 35-0. They smashed Oregon State. Russell Wilson once again had a great game. He's living up to the hype. Second, we had Ohio State, number 15 in the country, against Toledo in the Big House. Not the Big House, the Horseshoe. My bad. Ohio State really struggled in this game, and they about lost. They had to stop Toledo at the very end on the 4th down, and I'm pretty sure they're like Toledo's on the 15-yard line. If they would have scored a touchdown there to beat Ohio State, but they did hold them. They did win 27-22. It was a really close game. Ohio State's really vulnerable this year. Joe Bowersman, he's gonna have to step it up. The defense is gonna have to step it up. They're not gonna be able to play like that all year and come out with a win like they did. Iowa State and Iowa, two big rivalries. And Iowa State did pull out the victory, 44-41 over Iowa in overtime. Next game, Kentucky, Central Michigan. Kentucky won 27-13. They've been struggling big time. They struggled last week against Western Kentucky. Their offense is really struggling, but the defense is holding them to low scores, which is helping out because their offense is doing nothing. But that's not going to be helping out when they start playing against the Alabama, LSUs, Auburns, Floridas of the world. So their quarterback, Morgan Newton, really needs to step up and start making some plays, and it's really showing where they missed Randall Cobb, who was their everything for the past few years. And he had a great game for the Packers the other night against the Saints. They upset the Saints. Well, not really an upset, but they beat the Saints. Next game, Auburn at Mississippi State, number 16 in the country, at Auburn. I totally predicted this game wrong. I believe I made a separate analysis video for this. I predicted Mississippi State to clobber Auburn. They proved me wrong. The defense struggled like they did the week before against Utah State, but their offense had some really explosive plays. Barrett Trotter, who I'm very critical of, actually had a decent game. Michael Dyer and Terry McCaleb had a good game. The defense still struggling, but they did pull out the victory with the goal line stand against Chris Ralph and Mississippi State, and they won 41-34. West Virginia and Norfolk State, just want to talk about this for a second. West Virginia was really struggling until halftime. They were losing at halftime, I believe, like 10-12, and they might have been winning 12-10. I'm not really sure, but they somehow scored 8 million points in the second half and ended up winning 55-12 over Norfolk State. Just wanted to point that out. Two games we're talking about really quick. Pittsburgh and Maine, 35-29 over Maine. Struggled a little bit. Eastern Michigan 14 to Alabama State 7. For some reason, lower schools have been really giving D1 schools a lot of trouble, and it's kind of been weird. Next game, Alabama, number 3 in the country, against number 23 Penn State at Happy Valley. Two quarterback system did not really do anything for Alabama because A.J. McCarron played most of the game, and honestly, I believe he's going to be the starter for the rest of the season. He had a pretty good game, really poised. He threw for like 160 yards, had no mistakes really at all that I can remember. Richardson had a pretty good game, ran for about 111 yards, I believe it was. Eddie Lacy also had a great game. He ran for like 7 rushes, 80 yards. Pretty much contained Penn State for the most part. Alabama kind of started out slow, letting Penn State get the field goal. They had a lot of 3 and outs though, but they let them score at the very end. But Alabama won 27-11. The next game, I said this game was going to be close. Number 11, Virginia Tech and East Carolina. East Carolina played them close, was winning for the majority of the game, but Virginia Tech comes out with the win, 17-10. Let's see. Another game to talk about: New Mexico State 28, Minnesota 21. Minnesota's coach had a seizure, which is not what you want. Clemson and Wofford. Clemson won 35-27. Wofford was winning for a lot of the game, and I was joking about that. Like I said, D2 schools giving D1 schools all they can ask for. And another upset: Rice 24, Purdue 22. Rice blocked a field goal to upset Purdue. It was Rice's first win against a BCS school since like 2001 or something like that. Let's see another game. South Carolina and Georgia. This game was a lot more high score than anybody thought it was going to be. I knew Georgia was going to play them close, but I didn't know it was going to be this high of a score and that close. But South Carolina pulled out the victory 45-42 over Georgia in the Hedges. Another game to talk about: Nebraska and Fresno State. Nebraska was getting all they could ask for from Fresno State, but they pulled out the victory in the end. Nebraska won 42-29. I called the upset, BYU and Texas. I said BYU was going to win. Texas pulled out the victory at the very end. BYU is winning for the majority of the game, but Texas won 17-16. BYU has actually a really, really good defense, so look out for BYU. Even though they lost this game, they basically outplayed Texas. Jake Heaps, the quarterback for BYU, had a pretty good game. The Texas quarterback situation is probably settled with Colt McCoy's little brother, Case. He outplayed Garrett Gilbert by a large margin, but yeah. Let's see any more games to talk about. Oh, of course. Well, first, before we get to that, USC and Utah. USC won 23-14. USC blocked a field goal of Utah to tie the game. They brought it back for a touchdown, so it was a lot closer than the score says. USC won 23-14. Vanderbilt pulled out the victory against Connecticut 24-21. This game, I hadn't even heard about this. Central Florida beat Boston College 30-3. Holy crap, I did not know about that. I knew UCF's quarterback was great, and Jeff Godfrey, I think that's his name. He's a scrambling quarterback. He's a really good quarterback, but I didn't know they beat Boston College 30-3. God dang. But the last game I'm talking about, Michigan and Notre Dame, I predicted Michigan to win, which was not going to be the case till the very end. One of the craziest games. Notre Dame outplayed Michigan. Tommy Rees had a pretty good game, had a few turnovers, so did Denard Robinson, but at the very end, that's all that matters. Like 20 million touchdowns were scored like in the last minute. I think it was 3 to be exact. But Michigan, it was a crazy, crazy game, but it's first night game in Big House history. It proved out to be a great game. Don't be surprised to hear Denard Robinson's name in the Heisman race at the very end of the year. Who knows? He might win it. But that was a crazy game. Michigan got the win 35-31. Brian Kelly's face was in tomato mode again at the end of the game because they were winning up till the very end. Notre Dame's 0-2. Brian Kelly's probably at home looking like a tomato like always. But thank you guys. That's the end of the week 2 recap. I might do a little bit of stuff for the NFL because the Titans, I just finished watching them lose. They had my heart racing because I thought they were going to come back, but Matt Hasselbeck decided just to throw it 40 yards when he needed 20 to kick a field goal and win the game. But it is what it is. I'm probably gonna make a way too early BCS bowl prediction video. I know it's early, but it's something I want to do. And I'm gonna have a week 3 prediction video up in the next few days, so be looking out for that. And thanks, guys, and I will see you next video. See ya.